is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. After a weekend of delays, NAD projects up to 75,000 passengers during the Easter weekend holidays. The Commissioner of Police giving an update on a number of recent rape investigations. And in our discussion today, we are talking with the Bahamian Contractors Association about immigration and more. It's all straight ahead. I'm Dwight, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, March 26th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strawn. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll get a preview of the Stone Oak Homeowner and Builders Expo. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez says the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions will determine how to proceed with a case involving two American women who claimed they were raped in Grand Bahama last month. Fernandez, when asked for an update on the case yesterday, saying the matter is now in the hands of the DPP. He said investigators from Grand Bahama are here in New Providence meeting with the DPP, and they are viewing that for a decision. The American women allege that the incident happened on a beach in Freeport on February 4th. One of the women took to social media and expressed disappointment with the way she claimed police handled the matter. The women also spoke to several news outlets in the United States, and they claimed they were not given a rape kit after the alleged incident and were forced to wash away evidence. However, police say those claims are not accurate. In a statement, police said the women refused medical assistance, declined to be taken to the hospital, and signed a waiver. Police then boarded the cruise ship the women were on and provided a rape kit to the medical team and received written statements from the women. The women claimed they were assaulted by two employees of a local bar and water sports facility. The company, in response, said its surveillance footage conflicts with the women's claims. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force apprehending 122 Haitians off Ragged Island. This was on Saturday. This brings the total number of migrants picked up in Bahamian waters over the past 2 weeks to 369. According to the Defense Force, officers received a tip about the migrants from local fishermen, which was corroborated by Long Island police. Defense Force officers intercepted the Haitian vessel about 5 miles east of Seal Key in Ragged Island. The vessel was towed to Gun Point in Ragged Island. Additional security and support teams were dispatched to the island. The group comprised 98 men, 13 women, and 11 boys. Nassau Airport Development Company, NAD, expects up to 75,000 passengers to move through Lynden Pindling International Airport over the long holiday weekend. according to a press statement. During that same period in 2023, NAD processed more than 71,000 passengers and saw close to 3,000 aircraft movements over the 5-day holiday period. NAD Vice President of Operations Jonathan Hanna said the airport's projections show heavy inbound and outbound traffic across all sectors of the airport over the weekend. The statement says that Bahamas Immigration, Bahamas Customs, the Airport Authority, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, air traffic services, airline operators, the police force, and the road traffic department have all had to ensure adequate staffing during these peak periods. F&M leader Michael Pintard says that he wants to hold a party convention by this September. He said he wants the F&M to have its leadership team locked in place and ready to contest the next general election, and the convention will assist in this. Pintard, a guest on Guardian Radio's The Foundation with Howard Grant yesterday, noting that under its constitution, the F&M must hold a convention by October of this year. A Supreme Court jury will decide today the fate of a man accused of raping a teenager. Prosecutors say Aaron Williams, who was 29 at the time, raped the teen at a friend's home within minutes of forcing her into his car on July 29, 2021. But Williams says that what happened between them was consensual. In his closing address to jurors, prosecutors Ewell Johnson said there was nothing consensual about the whole ordeal. According to the complainant, she was on her way to catch the bus to summer school when an unknown man in a white car ordered her to get inside. Well, Williams' lawyer, Miranda Adderley, telling jurors that the teen willingly got into the car, as she admitted that the man in the car was unarmed and did not threaten her. And a 33-year-old man is facing an armed robbery charge after prosecutors say he robbed the Subway restaurant in downtown Nassau. Donald Tucker is accused of robbing the Erie of $4,412 on March 15th while armed with a box cutter. Tucker wasn't required to enter a plea to the charge when he made his initial court appearance before Magistrate Samuel McKinney on Monday. He was denied bail because the magistrate lacks the jurisdiction to consider bail for the offense. Tucker returns to court on May 24th to receive a voluntary bill of indictment. Overseas, a container ship ramming into a major bridge in Baltimore early this morning, causing it to snap in a few places and plunge into the river below. Several vehicles fell into the chilly waters, and rescuers were initially searching for at least 7 people. 2 people were pulled from the waters under the Francis Scott Key Bridge, one in serious condition, according to Baltimore Fire Chief James Wallace. The cargo ship appears to have crashed into one of the bridge's supports during the middle of the night when traffic would be expected to be lighter, according to a video posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. The vessel caught fire and thick black smoke billowed out of it. The fire chief says authorities may be looking for upwards of 7 people, but he said that number could change. It was not clear if the 2 rescued were included in the 7. Sonar has indicated that there are vehicles in the water where the temperature was about 47 degrees Fahrenheit or 8 degrees Celsius in the early hours of this morning. Earlier, Director of Communications for the Baltimore Fire Department, Kevin Cartwright, telling the Associated Press that several vehicles were on the bridge at the time, including one the size of a tractor-trailer truck. He called the collapse a, quote, developing mass casualty event, but we didn't know at the time how many people were affected. And the United Nations Security Council issuing its first demand for a ceasefire in Gaza, with the U.S. angering Israel by abstaining from the vote. Israel responded by canceling a visit to Washington by a high-level delegation in the strongest public clash between the allies since the war began. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accusing the U.S. of retreating from a principled position by allowing the vote to pass without conditioning the ceasefire on the release of hostages held by Hamas. White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby saying the administration was, quote, kind of perplexed by Netanyahu's decision. He said the Israelis were choosing to create a perception of daylight when they don't need to do that. Kirby and the American ambassador to the UN and the U.S. said the U.S. abstained because the resolution did not condemn Hamas. U.S. officials chose to abstain rather than veto the proposal because, quote, it does fairly reflect our view that a ceasefire and the release of hostages come together. The 15-member council voted 14-0 to approve the resolution, which also demanded the release of all hostages then taken captive during Hamas's October 7th surprise attack in southern Israel. The chamber broke into loud applause after the vote. And the main Venezuelan opposition coalition said early today that electoral authorities didn't let it register its presidential candidate as the deadline ended, in what it called the latest violation to the citizens' right to vote for change in the South American country. The candidate, Corina Yoris, could not be registered by midnight Monday, which was the time limit for registering for the election set for July 28th. On a video posted on the Unitary Platform X account, Barboza, who is a spokesperson for the party, said this was a, quote, violation of the right of the majority of Venezuelans who want to vote for change. He demanded the registry be reopened. 80-year-old newcomer Yoris was named Friday the substitute to opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who faces a government ban on her running for office. Hours before the opposition coalition couldn't register Yoris, President Nicolas Maduro got the support of thousands as he made official his candidacy for a third term that would last until 2031. Polls show the unpopular Maduro could be trounced by a landslide if Venezuelan voters were given half a chance. In sport, after another promising season, Bahamian Yolette coach Yo McPhee-McEwen and the University of Mississippi Rebels have been eliminated from the NCAA Division I women's basketball tournament, falling in their second-round game Monday. Seeded 7th in the Albany region, the Rebels lost to the second-seeded Notre Dame Fighting Irish 71-56. It was practically a home game for the nationally number 9 ranked Fighting Irish. In their first round game, the Rebels got past the Marquette University Golden Eagles 67-55. Against the Fighting Irish, though, the Rebels were outplayed early, falling behind by double digits in the first quarter, and they never recovered. They ended the season with a 24-9 win-loss record, just one win off last season's record of 25-9, and they were 12-4 in the Southeastern Conference, recording a program record 12 SEC victories. The Rebels also finished third in the SEC, their highest finish in the conference in 32 years. McPhee-McEwen saying it's disappointing that her team struggled to match Notre Dame's intensity early. They scored the first basket of the game, but Notre Dame ran off 8 in a row and never looked back. The Rebels trailed by as much as 23 points in the contest. More from the NCAA women's division. Caitlin Clark raising her arms as she walked across the court, pumping her fists and making a heart with her hands as she bid farewell to her legion of adoring fans who came to see her play one last time at Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City. The clock had just hit zeros on number 1 seed Iowa's hard-earned 64-54 win over number 8 West Virginia in the women's NCAA tournament, and she wanted to thank the fans. The Hawkeyes will head to Albany, New York to continue their bid to reach the championship game for a second straight year. No matter what happens the rest of the way, Clark will be remembered as the most beloved, if not the greatest athlete to come out of the state that has also produced Dan Gable, Bob Feller, and Niall Kinnick. The NCAA Division I all-time scoring leader had 32 points on a night. Nothing came easily for her and her teammates. Mountaineers' physical defense tried to knock her off her game, and for stretches it succeeded. She'd have blood wiped off her leg in the fourth quarter. Clark's parents were in the stands as well. And like every home game, fans of all ages showed up in their number 22 jerseys and T-shirts, and many brought signs paying homage to the Iowa Star. That's sports, and that's the overnight time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a high-pressure system that will support a gentle to moderate breeze throughout the Bahamas. Meanwhile, an Atlantic low-pressure system is generating north to northeasterly swells along our shorelines. As a result, small craft operators are advised not to venture far from port, and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the high risk of rip currents in sea swells. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly to mostly sunny and warm conditions with isolated showers. Small craft operators should not venture far from port. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest Bahamas and north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots in the central and southeastern islands. Seas 2 to 4 feet, but building 7 to 10 feet in north and northeasterly swells. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. Your first look at weather brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Take an electric vehicle for a spin. Experience the incredible performance firsthand. There is an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales. It will suit your budget and your lifestyle. Book a test drive today at easy242.com. It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Join me now, Duquesadine.
Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bahamas.
Great to have you with us.
It's a beautiful day. The sun was peeking out as I was coming to the studio this morning. Still have not adjusted.
Really?
Really?
That's impossible.
No, I'm telling you, it's like, I need sleep, bro.
Well, you have the weekend. Hopefully you don't have anything too exciting planned.
Because with the
Catch
longer
up.
evenings, just get occupied doing so many things because it feels early. And then get
I
to bed
understand
late
that.
and then morning
So
comes. I think
that's
maybe
all on
another
you.
week.
That's all
Maybe
on you.
another week for the adjustment. I don't know. Yeah,
Wow.
maybe
Okay.
another week.
Oh, my. Well, you got the weekend. Hopefully you
Yes,
can catch up.
I intend to.
All right. We got a lot of exciting things coming up this morning. We're going to be talking about a homeowner and builders expo. Stone Oak will be here to tell us all about that, give us all the details about that. And just a coincidence, they're going to be taking part in this, but they'll be here with us as well. The Bahamian Contractors Association, we had them on a few weeks ago, and we said we'd have to do a part 2 because of a lot of hot issues that we didn't get to in the time. We're going to get into that this morning, the ongoing immigration issue and how that affects construction work in the country. We'll talk about that with them and get a preview of their luncheon, which is set for tomorrow. So a lot to talk with them about, a lot to get to this morning. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, as we said, it's a holiday weekend. Easter is here. It's Holy Week. And a lot of people are planning on traveling, either leaving here or coming here. And so NAD is already predicting, is this a record? Predicting 75,000 passengers during Easter weekend. If you went away last weekend, you know, there were people still recovering from some of the challenges at the airport. Well, a lot of that was Mother Nature. The weather on Saturday caused cancellations and many delays well into Sunday. Yeah. And a nightmare.
Well, if you're traveling this weekend, then I think setting the expectation that there may be delays and long lines and all that sort of stuff can help you in advance. Instead of showing up and being frustrated that they exist, know that they will. 75,000 is a lot of traffic, and that's, I think NAD is talking about their inbound. But they said inbound and outbound.
Inbound,
right?
and outbound.
So get to the airport within your 3-hour period. Don't be I'm gonna test it. Do your best to get there on time and get checked in and
So listen to this. So the 75,000 they're projecting this weekend, which is higher than the 71,000 last year. And last year, with that 71,000, they saw close to 3,000 aircraft movements over the 5-day holiday period. That sounds like a nightmare to me.
Certainly sounds busy. Yeah, and a lot for the air traffic controllers and everyone that works in that area.
Yeah. So they're giving advice to folks. This is what they're saying. They're saying we're anticipating strong performance across the U.S., international, non-U.S., and domestic travel sectors based on our forecasts for the Easter holiday peak. From an operational standpoint, we've held various meetings with key stakeholders to ensure that we are prepared to meet the increased passenger demand. They're saying that due to the expected increase in traffic, NAD is advising travelers to arrive at the airport 3 hours before U.S.-bound flights, 2 hours before their international and domestic flights. NAD added that people who hope to book last-minute flights should seek to do so outside of the airport's peak travel hours of 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that also reminded drivers that no parking and waiting is permitted in front of the terminals. Drivers are reminded that vehicular traffic in front of the terminals is restricted to passenger loading and offloading only. Failure to comply may result in tickets being issued or vehicles being towed. To further reduce curbside congestion, drivers picking up arriving passengers from the airport are encouraged to utilize LPIA's cell phone parking lot, where they can wait up to 60 minutes free of charge.
Yeah.
Cell phone parking lot. Okay. Persons must remain in their vehicles at all times when using the cell phone waiting lot to avoid being towed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very proactive. It's a very proactive statement, Dwight. I want to give them props for coming out and saying this could be chaotic and here are the things that we need to do. I don't know if you've gone through the airport recently, but it is madness on the airport door as people are trying to get a space to offload their loved ones who are traveling. And then, of course, the arrival is always very busy. And so, perhaps using that cell phone lot is a great idea, or parking in the parking lot and paying the fee to be there.
And parking the wrong parking lot.
No, parking the right parking lot.
People who, sometimes you get a little confused. The short-term, long-term, the signs.
Particularly on the domestic side, the signs are a little bit wonky for sure. But to everyone traveling this weekend, have a great time. Use common sense wherever you go. Know your surroundings and just enjoy your stay. Yeah.
All right. So, elsewhere in the news, many were wondering where this stood. The incident last month with tourists who reported that they were raped by a couple of guys in Grand Bahama. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez giving an update on this yesterday. He said the Director of Public Prosecutions will determine how to proceed with the case. He said, quote, that matter is now in the hands of the DPP office. The investigators from Grand Bahama are here in New Providence now meeting with the DPP office. They're viewing that for a decision. You may recall those American women alleged that the incident happened on a beach in Freeport on February 4th. One of the women took to social media and expressed disappointment with the way she claimed police handled the matter. The women also spoke to several news outlets in the United States, claiming they were not given a rape kit after the alleged incident and were forced to wash away evidence, but police have said those claims are not accurate. In a statement, police said the women refused medical assistance, declined to be taken to the hospital, and signed a waiver. Police then boarded the cruise ship the women were on and provided a rape kit to the medical team and received written statements from the women. They also claimed they were assaulted by two employees of a water sports facility. The company, in response, said its surveillance footage conflicts with the women's claims.
When the story first came out, Dwight, and they were all over the news, just for me personally, it sounded more like they were interested in getting funds for not being warned about the crime situation in the Bahamas, and that the cruise line had a right to ensure that its passengers knew about this, elevated crime warning that the U.S. had sent out. The focus didn't initially seem to be that they were allegedly raped. It seemed to have more of a focus of how do I monetarily benefit from not hearing a warning, even though they went to Grand Bahama and not Nassau. So that for me was very, very interesting. And now to have the police coming out and saying that, there are some conflicts and the claims that they've shared are not accurate. And also the video surveillance from that company showing that there is a conflict with what's being said and what actually happened. That's major. That's major and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we will see. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted on that, definitely. All right. Elsewhere in the news, again, you can call in if you have anything to say about these matters. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Some messages about the airport. This person said, good morning. We had to collect family from the airport recently, and it was madness. Long lines. We told our guests we would meet them in the parking lot. That went well.
Yeah. Just getting away from the crowded areas is really a smart move. So, yeah, that was great. Walk over to the parking lot and we'll be there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, encouraging signs that a lot of people
the
want
airport,
to be here.
Yeah, the
So
airport travel, particularly our gas coming in through the airport, is, for me, always I shouldn't say the word better to hear, but I know that those are passengers that are going to be here for a while, and the possibility of spending money in the economy.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting. It's always exciting to hear.
Absolutely.
Coming in.
Again, give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. So I was telling you off air about it, but the just horrible scenes out of Baltimore with this bridge collapse. Just, wow. So apparently a barge or some type of boat hit the bridge.
So it didn't just collapse.
No. It
Okay.
wasn't, yeah. But a barge hit it. Let me pull up a recent story on it. And then you just see that somebody's recording and from across the bay, the harbor, whatever it is, and you just see it go down.
Wow, were there cars on the bridge at the time?
Yeah, not many because it was 1-something in the morning, but it was.
Wow.
There were, and there are at least 7 people missing. At least.
Oh, wow.
They think. Well, I guess it's maybe vehicles.
Right.
But yeah.
Wow.
So
That was
just as a cargo ship, yeah. That hit it.
wow. That would be traumatizing to witness.
That used to be a bridge there,
Oh, I see.
and it's all gone.
Oh, wow. The whole middle.
Yeah.
That's a big block. No.
Yeah, it's terrifying. So if you missed it, a container ship rammed into a major bridge in Baltimore early Tuesday, causing it to snap in a few places and plunge into the river below. Several vehicles fell into the chilly waters, and rescuers were initially searching for at least 7 people. 2 people were rescued from the waters, 1 in serious condition.
Wow. That bridge is so high. How tall that was the barge? That's you see how high that bridge is?
It didn't hit in the middle. It hit towards...
the side, the
yeah.
end, the lower end.
But,
Wow.
but this is clearly carelessness.
A catastrophe. Wow.
The cargo ship crashed into one of the bridge's supports, causing the structure to snap and buckle at several points and tumble into the water in a matter of seconds. It really was quick.
Wow.
A shocking spectacle that was captured on video and posted on social media.
That must be traumatizing to watch.
Must have been worse to be on it.
Yes.
The vessel caught fire, and that also made it worse. And, Thick black smoke billowed out of it.
Wow.
Yeah. I think the water was about 47 degrees.
Freezing.
Close. Pretty close. Just a tragedy. We pray for everybody involved in that. But wow.
Wow.
Now, according to officials, some cargo appeared to be dangling from the bridge, which spans the Patapsco River at the entrance to a busy harbor. The river leads to the port of Baltimore, a major hub for shipping in the East Coast. Opened in 1977, the bridge is named for the writer of the U.S. national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Yeah. Maryland's governor declared a state of emergency and said he was working to get federal resources deployed. The FBI was also on the scene.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Speechless.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. All right, back to your text messages. This person says here, no, so you all think this is not a time to joke about these things. This is about P. Diddy, who had...
Yeah, I saw that.
Sean Combs had some issues yesterday. Two houses raided.
Simultaneously.
And, people are saying that is he on the run? Where is he? Anyway, so this person's joking about how he'll likely end up here because we like corruption and money.
Ooh.
It's terrible.
Oh.
It's a text.
Ooh. A spicy text. Yeah.
The police, this is a text. Can I read this? The police say a lot. That 2 years ago, a whole man was that they picked up, disappeared, and has not been seen anywhere since. Really? Did you see the pictures of those bombing suspects captured in Russia? One man was wheeled into his trial unresponsive. I hope they checked him for a pulse. Another had a part of his ear cut off. I didn't see that part, but they were bloodied and beaten. That's true. But that's Russia.
I think
That's Russia, yeah.
rolled into the trial?
Yeah, he was
Wow.
very much out of it. He looked unconscious. In one picture, he looked unconscious. The other one, he's just like... But they, it was a serious issue. I don't know if they are the people responsible, but my God. Russia.
For sure.
All right. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Yeah. So what are you going to be doing this Easter weekend?
Hopefully sleeping. I did have plans for Saturday, but they got canceled. So I'm really looking forward to a quiet, reflective Easter.
Okay.
If I can help it, I won't come out my house the entire weekend.
Not even open the door.
That's the goal. No, that's the goal. But if that doesn't happen, it would be real limited movement. Yeah. I want to be
Is
home.
that a good thing? Because that's happened to me a few times where like I didn't even go outside the entire
I guess it depends on how you look at it. Like it's been some really busy weeks. I remember telling someone it felt like someone beat me with a crowbar, how tired I am. So if you need rejuvenation, if you need, rest, then yes, it's a good thing. And then let's be honest, we're switched on every day, all day, every day. And then dealing with people, you have multiple facets of people and personalities and requirements that could be very draining. And so you definitely have to take the opportunity to just sit in silence. Now, I enjoy silence.
Well, one time, I have an alarm monitoring company, right? So I didn't go out. Apparently, Friday after coming from work, that was it. Set the alarm. Monday might have been a holiday. I'm not sure. But the alarm people called. They just said, are you okay? Because there's been no activation, not even a door open.
What? You go that much?
I guess. But then since Friday, there's been nothing. We're just wondering, like, are you dead or something? Like,
That was pretty observant
I'm
of them,
okay.
though.
Thank you very much for the concern. 'Cause nobody else cared.
That was pretty observant of them.
I was like, I think it might have been. Yeah, probably into Monday.
I dare you to stay in. I dare you.
No
to stay
door
in.
open to even go inside.
That sounds delicious.
No. It doesn't sound good. I regard those weekends as failures.
Why?
Like, this is sad.
Why is it sad?
You haven't opened the door of your house? What are you, a hermit?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. And to be in silence, like no TV,
Well,
no
there definitely was a
radio.
But it was
Just
weird.
quiet. Seriously. It's serene and peaceful. And you know what it is to just have you, like you the only company and no requirements and nobody needs you to do this or cook no one breakfast or no. It's
But this is worse than I'm thinking of. Because, I was
delicious.
definitely doing all those things, cooking and watching TV and making noise, but I just didn't leave the house.
yeah.
But
It's just,
but you don't want to do anything.
I don't. But I mean,
Oh.
I still have to cook because I have to eat. But even that would be like leisure, like, an easy thing. So, yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I think I wanna coach you in things of self-care and how to sit in silence, because I know that you're busy. Yeah. So
Can't do silence.
Listen, anyone else out there is going to be indoors this entire weekend. Text us and let us know. Call us and let us know that you know what
Like,
I'm talking
that's
about.
the plan. From Thursday after work, you're done, and you're not leaving till Tuesday
Till
morning.
Tuesday morning.
Wow.
Yeah, I
No.
probably won't leave until it's time to come back here. Now, again, I said that's provided things go as planned. So, and I bet I'm not the only person looking forward to a quiet, locked-in weekend. I bet you. How much you want to wager?
Okay, let's do that. Let's hear your plans. How do you feel about that? Would you be happy with that? Not opening a door, not even to open the door and take a breath.
No.
Just from Thursday till Tuesday. And this is bad because it's supposed to be going to church Good Friday and
Okay,
and
I'll
Easter
watch
Sunday,
it.
and Easter Sunday. So,
I'll attend them online.
Anyway, let's hear from you folks. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you about that. Is that the way to go? Is that the way to regain your sanity, to keep your sanity, to, let's talk.
Yeah, let's see.
323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. We're going to be the messages are already coming in. We're gonna get to this after the break. It is Holy Week after all. Who needs all this bad news and all this
Right.
talk?
Just lighten it up.
Let's
Yeah.
do that when we get back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Music, take me back when I was born. It's the sweetest music. Yes, I'm an island gal for sure. Oh yeah. Keep my heart jumping, pumping when I hear pop play. Give me bush music all day, every day. That Bohemian music that runs inside my veins. Yes. Ain't no sweeter music than break and spread from down on deep in the
Got your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC, a bank for all of you. As we've been telling you, a number of the schools are closed already for Easter, and so traffic levels are manageable, especially for your morning commute. Just a bit of congestion on Mile Butler Highway as you get closer to the roundabout with Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway, and traffic backed up a bit along Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway as well. So that's northbound on Mile Butler Highway, westbound on Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway toward the roundabout. Carmichael Road, a little bit of congestion as well, westbound toward Coral Harbor Road. And then not much to talk about. We've got on Robinson Road near Old Trail and East West Highway, that stretch there, you're going to be seeing some slow-moving traffic. But again, not much to talk about. We'll have another update for you, though, after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for this morning. We've got a high-pressure system that's going to support a gentle to moderate breeze throughout the country. Meanwhile, an Atlantic low-pressure system is generating north to northeasterly swells along our shorelines. Small craft operators advised not to venture far from port. Beachgoers should exercise caution, extreme caution, due to the high risk of rip currents and sea swells. For all areas today, look for partly to mostly sunny and warm conditions with isolated showers. Small craft operators should not venture far from port. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at highs getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. It is currently about 73 degrees. Partly cloudy skies in Nassau. In your extended outlook, as we get closer to the holiday weekend, we've got a high-pressure ridge that's going to drift south across the Bahamas ahead of a cold front that's forecast to arrive in the northwest Bahamas on Thursday into Friday. That Atlantic low will weaken, causing the sea swells to slowly begin to subside over the area. So for Wednesday, tomorrow, partly mostly sunny and warm with passing showers. And for Holy Thursday, Maundy Thursday, we're looking at partly cloudy and warm conditions ahead of that front, becoming cloudy to overcast with isolated evening showers and thunderstorms near the front in the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny and hot with a passing shower in the central and southeast Bahamas. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
RBC. Are you buying a home, renovating, or exploring mortgage options? With cash back and up to 90% financing, we'll find the perfect mortgage for you. Pre-qualify in just 60 seconds and get connected with a mortgage specialist today. Visit rbc.com/mortgages/all of you. RBC. Conditions apply.
Ready to score big? Alive is bringing you March Madness! From incredible deals on Ring devices to amazing deals on iPhones, Nokia, TCL, and more. Alive has everything you need to stay connected and save big. And that's not all. Enjoy free data, prepaid plan bundles, exclusive event tickets, and more. Deals end March 31st. Visit BeAlive.com or follow us on our social media at We Are Alive to stay in the know. Score big with Alive this March season. Don't miss out.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Friday, April 5th, get ready for another exciting Fish Fry Friday. At Margaritaville, downtown Nassau, featuring the big band Visage and DJ Beats with the latest in soca, Bahamian, and old school jazz.
Everybody take a jump. Come to party, I like y'all. Don't want no man.
Ready for the Dollars General Admission, $55 buffet and party. Doors open at 6:30 p.m., party until 11:30 p.m. That's April 5th, Fish Fry Friday. The stage has been moved, so you've got more dancing space. Fish Fry Friday, April 5th at Margaritaville, downtown Nassau. Parking at the point for only $10. See you at Fish Fry Friday, April 5th with the big band Visage.
Attention ice cream lovers. Are you ready to elevate your springtime indulgence and taste of luxury with Haagen-Dazs? For a limited time only, treat yourself to the quality of Haagen-Dazs ice cream for just $8.99 per pint. Yes, you heard that right. Indulge in the finest flavors without breaking the bank. This exclusive offer is available at all Lickety Split and Super Value locations. Experience the premium quality of Haagen-Dazs at an unbeatable price. Spring has never tasted this good.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, we're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, we're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Trouble up in the Robinson yard. Well, boy, I'll be John Brown, and I tell you, get out my yard.
Hey, David Pops, how you want to lick shot? Eh? You want lick shot? Don't fire me dead, no, I'm dead.
Ah, yeah.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean, gearing up for the Easter holiday weekend. And, we're saying, you know what, we've talked enough about the bad news for the start of this year and every single year. So, as we head into holiday and holy... during this holy week, let's bring down the temperature a little bit. Right. So we're asking, how are you planning on spending the holiday weekend? Are you going to be caught up in the madness at the airport, or are you going to be like Duquesa, locked up in your house from Thursday till Tuesday?
Even that sounds sexy, locked up.
Horrific.
No,
it sounds horrific.
No. How much do you want to coffee this morning that there are going to be more people saying, I want to stay in, than there are going to be people saying, I'm going to be all over the place?
Well, judging by the fact that I only see the same people every time I go out, I think you might be right. So let's see. We're getting a lot of this already. This person says, I do it every weekend.
There you go.
Now, I'm starting off with my personal phone. These are people I know who are telling me this. I'm like, oh, wow. One of my friends, I said, well, I know you're a hermit. Yeah, and proud is the response.
That's it.
I haven't left the house in 10 days.
There you go. There you go. Dwight starting to break a sweat at that.
This is not good. This is not good. Which is normal for me. I go out to a food store about once a month to restock low perishable food volume and for drinking water. Only the kids go outside.
I told you.
All right, let's check the text line. I'm looking forward to worship and the solitude of my home. Big Easter weekend and y'all ain't going to church? Boy, y'all could kill. That's the text.
I see that.
But like Duquesa said, you can watch these things
church.
online now.
Don't get me started.
On TV.
Yeah. Yeah, you can attend church virtually.
God is everywhere. Right?
Everywhere,
right.
yeah.
Dwight Duquesa, hope you will both enjoy the long weekend. As for me, I can go out for Easter, for Good Friday and Easter Mass. Other than that, I plan to stay in my house. This person says here, I remember having a conversation with somebody during the COVID lockdown and getting kicks off meetings with colleagues having emotional breakdowns because they couldn't get out. It must have been me. How long we could ride this pajamas all day train again?
Oh.
I got all my food supplies and toilet paper. So I guess they're good.
They're indoors. Yeah. Yeah.
Disturbing.
Why is it disturbing? Particularly if you have a stressful job, particularly if you're on the go all the time, like if you are going. Almost everyone that I know except Dazzy. Like Dazzy gets off on extroverted stuff. So she likes to be out doing stuff. But almost every other person that I know love, they just like to, it's so busy. There's so many demands. You have so many things to do that if you have a day or two where you could literally just do nothing, you welcome that to rest and rejuvenate. Right? Like, and I think it's easier because my kids are adults, they're out the house. But when you're also a parent and you deal with kids all day, every day, you go to work, you come home, there's constant noise, there's homework, there's TV, there's sports events. I'm even just getting exhausted listing these things.
That sounded like a lot. That really did.
Right. So by the time your kids are older and you're able to not have to go out, you're like, yes, this is heaven. This is perfect. Because now you get to have some peace and you get to have the ability to just focus on you. Yeah.
I think you all are going to the wrong places when you do go out, though. I think that's what it is.
No, it doesn't matter. Even like going to church could be exhausting, particularly if you have to talk to like 50 people before, during the service. And I think you have to maybe be introverted or have some introverted, extroverted parts of you to experience that. Because honestly, just even going to work and dealing with people could pull so much from you. And if you are not taking the opportunity to pour back in, right, then you're just constantly on edge, right? And sometimes people stay busy to avoid, thoughts in their heads or situations that they may need to deal with. So, yes, I know, right? But people who can sit in that silence and who don't need to be distracted are better at just working through whatever stress or mental issues that, may be occurring. So, yeah, Dwight, it's like a real way to take care of yourself. It really, really is.
Okay.
Okay, what? We have more texts?
Yeah.
Okay.
You look like you were about to ask me.
No, if you were going to get, I'm going to remember that. Don't worry about that.
This person says, I plan to do the same, Ms. Dean. I only will go to the bank and to the supermarket and enjoy my quiet and alone time.
There you go.
You don't even need to go to the bank, eh?
Yeah, there you go. I'm telling you. And you know what? I was just going to ask you if you were getting hot cross buns and fish. That's the traditional Easter.
Right. Yeah, I need to deal with that today.
Yeah.
I think the fish is always a challenge, eh?
Yeah.
Today is the day to deal with that, definitely.
Mm,
Yeah, you already got yours?
Cook it? We have some in the freezer, but we're not big hot cross bun people.
I won't do too much of that one.
Yeah, but that's tradition. You can't have Easter without. And I've been seeing people getting so creative with the hot cross buns. I saw someone said yesterday they got a cinnamon coconut hot cross bun, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds delicious. That's nice." Like people are toying with various combinations. You've had that before?
Yeah,
Because I've only had the traditional hot cross bun, so that's exciting.
Okay,
To see.
So you're going to be
different
cooking
flavors.
this weekend?
No, Dwight.
You're not even going to do that.
I'll probably make a lot of salads with protein and vegetables. It will not be a traditional. Yeah.
So you're not going out. You're not going in your kitchen for much.
Not much. Yes. Not much.
Wow.
Yeah. Not much.
And you won't be watching much TV or anything like that, or social
not
media.
much.
You're going to be reading.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or just.
You're not just
enjoying the
sitting down
silence.
looking out the window.
No,
or
I'm not
anything,
crazy. No, I'm not. I may read. Yeah, I may scroll social media a little bit, but it's the silence is just so rejuvenating, especially after a busy week. Yeah.
Okay. All right, this text as we go to the break. Cheer up, Dwight. It's not 100%. All of us are multiverts. We have some needs to be extrovert and some need to be introverts. It's just that more of us can survive in a log cabin in the woods looking at the sky and listening to the birds while the zombies are rampaging through the city, eating all the party people. Okay. Great
I
way
love
to put
it.
that. All right, we'll be back after the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Thinking about good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Now I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. We've got a high-pressure system that's going to support a gentle to moderate breeze throughout the country. Meanwhile, an Atlantic low-pressure system is generating north to northeasterly swells. And so as a result, small craft operators are advised not to venture far from port, and beachgoers should exercise extreme caution due to the high risk of rip currents and sea swells. So your forecast for today for all areas, partly mostly sunny and warm with isolated showers. Small craft operators, again, should not venture far from port. Temperatures today getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 7 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a high-pressure ridge will drift south across the Bahamas ahead of a cold front that's forecast to arrive in the northwest Bahamas by late Thursday. The Atlantic low, meanwhile, is going to weaken, causing the sea swells to slowly begin to subside over the area. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, expect partly to mostly sunny and warm conditions with passing showers. Thursday, changes coming, partly cloudy and warm ahead of the front, becoming cloudy to overcast with isolated showers in the evening. Possible thunderstorms as well near the front in the northwest Bahamas. Partly sunny and hot with a passing shower in the central and southeastern islands for Thursday. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all of your painting or equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in store today. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC, a bank for all of you. Again, lighter traffic levels at this, today, as a result of a number of schools being closed for the holidays, Easter. We are seeing just a few issues. Independence Drive's got a bit of congestion, westbound mainly, and a little bit of eastbound traffic as well. We've got Blue Hill Road just north of Soldier Road. As you get over that hill, heading towards Independence Drive, you're going to be seeing that. A few cars in front of you, and a bit of congestion at the roundabout with Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway and Mila Butler Highway. That's going to be a bit congested for you. And Gladstone Road, as you get near Munnings Road, you'll see a few more cars in front of you heading to JFK Drive and Bahamar Boulevard. Saunders Beach on West Bay Street there on the way to the roundabout of the Providence Highway. A few cars in front of you as you approach there. And elsewhere, really not that much to talk about. That's what we're seeing right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. We also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp,
clays.
stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
It's Easter time again, and it's time to stop by Paradise Fisheries, located at number 16 Harley Street, Mount Royal Avenue. We are now accepting those large orders for fish fries on Good Friday. So give us a call today at 325-3301 or stop by our stores between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Fridays and 9 a.m. on Saturdays. Paradise Fisheries, still your one-stop shop for all of those Easter desires.
Spring into action this spring and enjoy 2 weeks of savings with BWF. Entertaining, landscaping, and beautifying the yard, or just relaxing and enjoying the outdoors. Shop BWF for fantastic spring savings this Easter of up to 20% off. Thursday, March 21st through Saturday, April 6th. Red hot savings on appliance combo specials, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, grills and griddles, outdoor stoves and fryers, corningware and chafing dishes, assorted ice and water coolers, floral decor, bunnies, bear and baskets, outdoor benches and lawn and garden supplies, and so much more. BWF, where we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street. Telephone 394-0004 or 6. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bahamas Welding and Fire. Check us out on Facebook and we ship to the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas. If the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands. All the sun, all the geese, all the skies, all the breeze, all the breeze, all the hills, all the sand, all the trees. Oh, tell me why. Tell me why he made these islands. Yes. Tell me if the angels never liked a sunny day.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, DeQuesta Dean. Okay, before we get to our guest, DeQuesta, this text that came in about what we were talking about before, about
Okay.
locking yourself up for the whole Easter holiday weekend. This person says here, as an introvert and an overthinker, I co-sign this message you're spewing out there, DeQuesta.
Thank you.
Social interactions are extremely draining. At the end of my workday, I'm so depleted and mentally exhausted that I just want to grab a torch and run into the nearest cave
I
so
understand.
that I can cease to exist as far
Well,
as
that's a
society is
bit extreme,
concerned.
but I understand. I understand. Yes. Yes. Yes.
This would be a great weekend to get out and enjoy friends and family.
Introverts unite this weekend, but in
man.
our own spaces, not together.
Enjoy. Well, at least have an Easter egg hunt in your house or something. Have a little something, right? Don't just stare at the window.
Oh, we occupy ourselves well.
Okay. All right. Anyway, speaking of being at home, hey, there's a big event coming up, the Homeowner and Builders Expo. Here to tell us all about this, we have a full studio. We have from Stone Oak, Bahamas, Philip Bowe. Stone Oak is putting it on. We're going to find out more about that in a bit. And we have from Adler Realty, Osborne Stewart, and from RBC, Dwayne Kemp. Gentlemen, great to have you with us. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you all. All right, so Dwayne Kemp, we'll get to you in a second, but Philip Bowe with Stone Oak,
Yes,
DeQuesta was
hi,
asking
hi,
you, what is Stone Oak? What is Stone Oak, Bahamas?
Stone Oak, Bahamas. This is the company we're partnering for the first time with BPSU, and this event will be held at the BPSU Hall on East Street South, which is right across the street from the SO. It's the Easter weekend. Everyone is invited, even the introverts. Even the introverts are invited. But it's a family event, and we want everyone to know it's a family event. It's a free event, but we will have a kids' corner there as well. So there's no excuse for families not to be there. It's this Saturday, the 30th, and it's an all-day event. It's actually going to start from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, that's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's an all-day event. But what it is, and I'm really excited about it because I actually just purchased a home myself. And it's thank you, and it's a time for persons to come and to see products, to speak with all of the professionals. We'll have many professionals there, along with those the gentlemen in the studio this morning from Adler Realty and RBC. So persons get a chance to ask their questions. So I encourage people to do the research. Find out what it is that you want to know. But it's an opportunity. You get to touch the products. You get to see the products. You get to see how they work. See how before you install in your home, because that's a mistake that a lot of us we make. We just get into these things. We don't get to actually experience these things or touch them and see how they really work in our home, or if they not just our home, if they really work for us. So this is the perfect opportunity for that. And again, it's a free event. It's an all-day event from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Like I said, we are doing this along with the BPSU. And we want everybody to be there. I mean, all of the professionals will be there. This isn't just for first-time homeowners. Whether you're renovating, building, this could be your third project. It could be your first project. For those who are first-time homeowners, I definitely encourage them to come. It's so much that we don't know when we jump into these projects. It's so much we don't know. And like I said, I've been there. And if you don't ask the right questions, you won't get that information.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been there where I won't say which institution or who it was I was speaking with. And I remember saying, well, why wasn't this said to me? And they said, well, you didn't ask.
Oh boy.
And I encourage men. This isn't a men event. Please bring your wives. Bring your wives out. Let them ask their questions. We don't want to make decisions without our wives anyway, right, gentlemen? Or every time you pull up to that home, you're gonna be going through something. So please, we want everyone to be there. All the professionals will be there. We'll have tile layers, window and door professionals, painters, contractors will be there, real estate agents, banks. Of course, we have RBC and Adler Realty in studio with us today. So again, we want everyone to be there to get the knowledge, get the tools that you'd need before you jump into probably the biggest investment of your lives.
Yep, definitely.
And it isn't a one-time event. This is something that goes on and on and on. Home ownership.
It never ends.
This is an investment that you can reap the harvest off forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, DeQuesta and Dwight, thank you for being here. Thank you for having me here, at least. And I'm just really excited about it because it's an opportunity to share the knowledge. I've like I said, I've been there, and it could be very frustrating. It could be a challenging time. But this is the reason why BPSU is doing this. We want to equip people with the tools. We want to equip our community with the tools they need, rather than going in and making some detrimental decision and you're stuck.
So what format is it going to take? Everyone's going to have a booth, or
that's correct.
Yep, okay.
So persons get to come and go around. Again, it's a free event. You go around, you speak to the professionals, you ask the questions, whatever products they may have. You ask specific questions of the products. You ask them to show you one or two things. You get to touch it. You get to feel it. What about different colors? I also want to encourage persons like RBC is there. Water and sewage will also be there. Some utility companies. So it's very important. Take the opportunity to bring your documents. Pay slips, job letter, bring those items because they'll be on the spot financing.
Okay.
All right. RBC is going to be giving away probably about $5,000-$10,000 mortgages, right?
We're giving out mortgages for everybody
There
that
you
comes
go.
sit down and talk to us.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why we're there.
Right before we move to that, Phil, will there be any planned demonstrations, with any of the?
Well, in terms of the products,
Right.
yes, some of the persons will actually have their
Demonstrations,
That's
okay.
correct. They'll have products there that you can actually see how they work.
Okay.
They can explain and describe those things to you as well. So
Okay.
yes, it's an opportunity because you don't really have that opportunity to get to touch and feel. I mean, I remember going in CBS or going to the various stores and I like this, I like that, and the person says, let me show you how it opens, but that's about it.
Right.
You don't get into any further details than that, and this is the opportunity. So we're really excited. This is Stone Oak's our first time being a part of it, and we're really excited about it because again, we get to spread knowledge, and I think that's big. And like I said, it's for the entire family because it's important for our children to tag along and to be exposed to these things from an early age.
Absolutely.
So is Stone Oak a real estate company?
No, it's not a real estate company.
Okay.
We're just a company that puts on various events.
Okay, got you.
Correct.
Okay, great.
So I'm glad we have Adler Realty and RBC here. Now, for a lot of people, they don't know which one to go to first. Is it the bank first or the real estate to look for the what you want?
Good question.
Which one should you do?
What comes first? The chicken or the
Simultaneously.
egg?
Don't tell the other. Don't tell the other.
All right, so who wants to go first?
Okay.
You're going to go first,
I'll go
Osborne
first.
Stewart? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we normally ask the client to go to the bank first.
Oh.
You know, when they call us, once we get the lead, we'll call the office. We'll ask them, have you been to your banker? And if they...
Why is that important?
Well, because we want to make sure they are qualified first. And once they are qualified, then we're able to tailor make. If they come to build a house, want us to build a house for them, we can then tailor make that for them. If they want to buy an existing home that we have, then we can know exactly which house to look for them at what price, and also the area.
Yeah, and then you don't get to waste time
Right.
showing them 5-story homes when they only can afford a one-bedroom apartment, right?
That's it. You're right.
So the pre-qualifying lets you know what value home this particular client will be able to purchase from you. That's what you're saying, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you're been to the bank and
Right.
qualified, Mr. Camp will pre-qualify you and pre-approve you,
Right.
And then you come back to us, and then we take it from there.
All right, so we're going to come back to you then after we talk to the bank. We're going to talk to Dwight Kemp with RBC. All right, so how does that work?
Well, we sit down and talk with the persons and basically get their income and their expenses. And so with that, we want to know basically what your income is, what loan payments you have, any credit card limits. Those are the basic things that we ask for qualifications. But we ask persons to be honest and upfront with us because the credit bureau is out. It's been out, I think, about 2 years.
Okay.
So when we could pre-qualify you, but if the information is not accurate, and we run your credit report and we say, well, hey, there's a little loan over here that you didn't divulge, it totally throws everything off and then wastes Mr. Adler's time.
Right.
And he said, well, I thought you pre-approved me for XYZ, but no, you forgot about this. So the information has to be very accurate in talking to us because then it throws the entire picture out.
So what you're seeing so far, how accurate have people been? How many? What percentage of people aren't telling the truth?
That's not my question, though.
Well, what do you see?
Well, we give them disclaimer before because, to be honest with you, if we find that the person is not upfront with us, we decline the loan. So we don't want to get into a situation.
Wow.
We have a right. I mean, our form tells you to the bottom when you sign it to say if the information is inaccurate, we have the right to decline the facility just on that merit alone.
Right.
So we tell them, hey, before you fill this out and sign it, is this information accurate?
And then one time somebody asked me they had to declare an ASU that they were in as well. Does that? Yeah, is
that's a voluntary payment.
Okay.
They probably had to declare it because they determine how they got their savings. So based on so with stuff like that we ask, but it's a voluntary payment.
Okay.
So only thing we're really concerned with is your loan payments, your credit card limits. Those are mandatory stuff, and of course if there's any HOA. Those are the main things that we factor into our debt servicing.
Right. So if a client comes in and shares with you that they have loan, credit card, something else, and they're upfront and honest, but they're not able to qualify, is the bank, or does your bank work with them for consolidation to help them kind of qualify? Would you be able to pay out loans and give them one loan with the mortgage? Is there a way that you will work with that client once they've disclosed all that information?
Most definitely. We pride ourselves at RBC Finco providing financial advice to our clients. So we're not just here for the short term. We build relationships and we're there for the long term. Our goal is making sure you're satisfied and comfortable with the end product because, yes, we can qualify you, but at the end, is the payment still comfortable?
Right.
Right? So I normally like to ask my clients, what is a comfortable payment for you? Because most persons will take that payment, even though it's not comfortable. There are still some other things that factor into your monthly budget that we don't factor in. But persons just want to get into their home.
Right.
So we would recommend maybe a debt consolidation if it can happen. So we would provide that advice or give you a roadmap on how do you get to where you want to go. So for mortgages, it's not, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and buy a house.
Right.
Most persons have to plan towards it, save towards it, and build up that savings. Even if you think about building a home,
Yeah.
you got to get your plans drawn, get it approved. I mean, those two steps alone is about 3 months. Yeah. So it's not a one stop.
Right, and it's not fast.
It's not fast.
Right.
So it's we hold clients' hands from the beginning to the end. That's why Mr. Adler say, come and talk to us first. Let us pre-qualify you because we've seen persons start to build their home out of pocket, take it up to bill cost of $80,000-$90,000 in the ground, and when they come to us, they can't qualify to complete it.
Wow.
For me, that is the most difficult conversation to have with the client because you feel their pain.
Right.
Yeah, we see these projects all the time.
Yeah, I mean, so you can imagine being a client of a $90,000 in the ground, your house up to bill cost, but you're unable to complete it because you can't qualify. So at that point, we have to have a conversation. So that's why Mr. Adler suggested again, come in and talk to us. Let us pre-qualify you up front, give you a suggestion, put a roadmap in place, because you still have to have sufficient savings. In order to purchase.
All right. So based on some of the things you've seen, what advice would you give to first-time homeowners or people considering purchasing? What other advice based on, or other than what you've said already?
My advice would be know what you want, have an idea, and be honest with your finances. There are some things that in your budget, again, we don't factor in. I pick on my wife this morning, right? I pick on her, right? But she has a routine. She likes to get her hair done every other Saturday and nails done.
Right. That's a cost.
That's a cost.
Right.
We don't factor that in.
Right.
Now, once we give you a payment, you factor how does these other little accessories fit into that. Do you now go once a month as opposed to every other week? I mean, persons like my daughter, she likes to eat out.
Right.
You can't eat out every night now when you have a home.
That's right.
So you have to change your budget, your lifestyle accordingly. When you own a home, you have to now factor in maintenance, landscaping. I mean, there's a ton of things that come into play. So let us put a budget in place. We have a savings calculator that we can walk you through and say, well, hey, you need to get $30,000 saved. But if you do this, and this, you can get there in 6 months, a year, 2 years. So you got to put that savings plan in place. So come in and talk to us, and let's put a roadmap in place.
What's the usual down payment percentage-wise? Because I know dollar-wise, we can't. It depends on the home you're purchasing. But percentage-wise, what's required as a down payment for your mortgage, along with maybe one or two other fees that will be needed up front?
The down payment is normally around 10%. It can go as high as 20%, but down payment is 10%. Central Bank just removed the requirement or the need for mortgage indemnity insurance. Just so quickly, mortgage indemnity, normal down payment is 20%. You come up with 10%. The other 10% is in the form of a one-time fee that you pay. We've just removed that as a requirement. So now that's a one-time fee that you no longer have to pay. You come up with 10%. So easy numbers. 100,000, 10% is $10,000.
Right.
Previously, it was 20,000.
Right.
So now it's 10,000, and then you have to pay your lawyer fees, which varies. It could be up to 2.5%. There's stamp duty, VAT, other things that come into play.
Right.
So it varies.
If I could interject right here, also too, Mr. Camp, you mentioned speaking with the client and asking them what they could afford in terms of mortgage payments. I also want to encourage all banks, or persons actually, to ask those questions, because there's so many other things: home insurance, life insurance, so many other things you have to factor in. That they may say, you know what, I actually cannot afford this amount that I thought I could afford every month. So it's good to always advise your clients about that. But I want to encourage the general public, because that's something we don't factor in. We don't think about these things. Sometimes we don't even know we have to come up with so much money out of pocket. So that's that's a discussion that you should have. So again, this Saturday, we're providing you to ask those questions, so you can give Mr. Camp this. This is the amount I could afford every month based on everything else.
So just adding to what you're saying, we normally give a client a closing cost worksheet.
Okay, great.
It starts from start to finish. It shows your down payment, your lawyer fees, your stamp duty fees, your homeowner's insurance, everything. I mean, when you think about utility connection, that's a fee. I know when I bought my home, just to turn on BPL, I think it was a $5,000 down payment. Yeah.
What now?
$5,000.
Where you live?
Yeah. What did you buy?
I guess
Don't tell them.
I live in the East. I don't have no fancy house, but I guess with all.
Right.
You bought a home, or you built it?
I built my home.
What?
Yeah, and it was. I think that if I remember correctly, it was about $5,000 that I had to give him as a security deposit.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm not saying that's the fee now.
Right.
But
it was for you at that time.
It was,
right.
And I think they base it based on what you have in your home. So you still have to factor in utility connection.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and what we found is persons, after they get the home, they want to buy new furniture. They want to do it.
And so
which
quick.
is very expensive.
Yeah.
Which is very expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, just putting grass down.
It's expensive.
Absolutely. All right. So, Mrs. Stewart, let's get to you.
We realize that also, as a part of our job as realtors, we try to educate the client as much as we can about the closing costs, like Camp mentioned. Also, with the appraisals that they have to do to make sure the property is evaluated. because that's also one of the things that contribute to decline of a loan. Because you go there and the property may be appraised, being sold for $100,000, and we come to find out that it came in at 80,000, 85,000 with appraised value.
Right.
So that's contribute to the decline of the loan by the bank.
Right.
So all these things need to be taken into consideration, and also with the clients, the banks have a list of lawyers and a list of appraisals. So you need to make sure, find out from your bank first
They're
of all
approved.
who these people are, right? Before you go out to get your approval. And we sit down with people, and of course we show them the property after they come back from the bank to us. We take them out to look at the property to make sure the property they look at is the one that they really are looking for. Now, because we do have a lot of issues out there as well, as it comes to encroachments, because moving a foot or 2 or 5 feet into somebody's property. So we started to let the agent know, please show the clients the property, and not only that, make sure that you take a surveyor to certified. And I think Campbell are doing that now. No, the attorneys are requesting it. And I think you're requesting as well, that we get a certificate from an appraiser to make sure that the property, all the boundary markers are in.
Right. So just to add to that, we've included in our appraisal request to make sure all the boundary markers are in place. And at first we started doing it, persons were like, this is a hassle. Why do I have to get this? But not until you have an encroachment.
Right.
And now this becomes a legal matter.
Right.
So when you factor in, let's say you're 2 feet over my boundary, it may not sound like much, but when you times 2 feet by the length of your property, which is maybe 100 feet, you've lost
quite a bit. Yeah.
And when you add price per square foot, you've lost thousands of dollars. So you have all of this you have to factor, and there's so much you have to know. Like, so just give you an example with insurance. You don't want to uninsure your home, because now when time for claims, you're going to be penalized. But there's a condition of average that the insurance company look at.
Right.
Also, your deductible. Our standard is 2% for deductible. Persons like to ask for a 5% or 10% deductible on their home, but when you look at a $500,000 home, a 10% deductible means you got to put 50. If there's a damage before the insurance kick in, that's $50,000.
Right.
So yes, you may want a cheaper premium, but how does that impact you down the line in the event of damage? So all of this is the advice that we advise clients to come in and sit down and talk with us, so you could make sound financial decisions before you get in. And 25 years is a very, very long time to be stuck in a mortgage. Our job is to help get you in the home, but for me, my primary goal is to make sure you're comfortable and you're happy with the product. Nothing more is worse than when you have buyer's remorse. You say, man, I don't think they gave me the best deal. I can I'm not going to be there 15 years down the line.
Right. Okay.
Yes, which is why I want to get in there again, which is why I want to urge the public to come on out this Saturday. Like Mr. Camp said, this is a relationship, and it's a long-term relationship. We are going to have Leonard Sands there from the Bahamas Contractors Association, which is key. We again want to encourage persons to go with contractors that are a part of this. I'm sure we've all heard some horror story of a client and contractor. And again, it's when people don't know, and you jump into things. We're just excited. You want a home. So again, at Stone Oak, and BPSU, we're providing this opportunity to educate persons, so persons can be aware. I just want to throw out some of the companies. Of course, RBC and Adler Realty would be there, but of course, we'll also have BOB, Scotiabank, Cable, Bahamas, CIBC, Southwest Legal, We Buy, You Sell, Cornet Bahamas, Echo Flow, Symphony Fencing, CMAX Bahamas, Art Heavy Equipment, Granite Plus. The list goes on and on. All the professionals will be there. Yeah, so everything that you would need is required for your home will be at this facility on East Street South at the BPSU Hall this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. again, we want to discourage those horror stories. You know, we want to help people along the way. I wish I had an event like this to go to before
Definitely.
I bought a home. But, you know, because there are moments. It's trying times, even in a relationship. You know, even in a good relationship. You know, there are trying times. So information is key. Information and knowledge is key, and that's why we're doing this. So again, it's a free event. There's no excuse for anyone not to be there, because you could bring your children and all. I mean, you know, even if I have to entertain them myself, I'm going to make sure you're going around to everybody and getting the information that you need.
So I have two questions. The first thing is, I know we may take for granted that our listening audience may understand that when we say purchase a home, we mean that could be a duplex, that could be a triplex. So we want people to understand that this is just generally the purchase of right.
For banking terms, we look up to a fourplex as long as you're living in one unit as residential.
Okay, so we want everybody to understand it doesn't matter what you're building, that you could come out. But also to the person that's listening that's already in their house, and they may have found out that they have issues in their home now, right? Because maybe they did have a contractor,
got a bad deal,
who wasn't with the Bahamas Contractors Association.
Wasn't managing the project.
Right. So can that person still come out and ask questions about the challenges that they are experiencing in their home and get advice, even though they may not want financing?
Definitely. I would say yes. We're going to have persons, contractors that are there, also owners rep.
Get a little closer to the mic for me.
Also,
there you go.
Various contractors will be there, also owners reps, which is key. I want to point that out. You may choose a contractor and say, this is who we're going to go with and have a relationship with. I want to advise persons to also contract an owner's rep, someone who can manage that person. All right, and that is key sometimes. Like Emmett Stone, we did a few shows with him. He would be there. So even though you're in your home and your project is complete, there are persons who can step in and still consult you or advise or tell you how to move forward and give you the best advice. So please come on out. Please come on out as well. Also, if those persons may need a little enjoyment in their lives, you know, they'll probably a bit discouraged. So come on out and have some fun with us.
Yeah. All right, we've got some text messages from our listeners, and you can text us as well, 422-4796, or even call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free 242-300-5720. This person is asking, why are banks asking for a full set of approved plans from the Ministry of Works, and drawings take about 15 weeks or more to approve?
Well, that's a very good question. The reason for that is we want to make sure the plans are approved by the ministry, because each lot that you buy has a particular zoning. And if you don't follow the particular zoning for that lot, so your plan basically has to be drawn for your lot. You cannot take plan A that's drawn for lot A and put on lot Z. So it has to be approved by the ministry and all part of town planning. And if you don't follow those regulations, you run the risk of not getting your occupancy certificate, and your project could be stopped at any point in time.
Okay.
So,
wow.
So that's important. In each phase has to be inspected. Your foundation has to be inspected by the ministry. The bell course, the roof has to be inspected. So you have to make sure that's approved in order to get over. And if you don't get your occupancy, you can't get your utilities, you can't move in, money's wasted.
Wow.
Yeah, we could have many shows from this topic.
And if I'm one more, if I may, let's just say this: you build a duplex onto a residential lot, you won't be able to get 2 meters. So now so you're stuck with 2 units and
you got to pay the rent.
You got to pay the tenant, utilities, water. So all of this, you have to make sure you follow the regulations. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Because essentially that would be illegal. If the plan was approved, or if the land was approved by the town planning
for single
family, and you build a duplex, that's illegal.
That's illegal.
There's a lot of that happening around here, though.
It's a lot.
So you will have to convert it, but a lot of that is happening. Unfortunately.
And most times you would find, that's why I shouldn't say it, but I mean, when you go to rent an apartment, the light is included because they can only get one meter.
Is that what it is?
I'm saying in every case, so don't get me wrong.
More often than not, though. It's only 1 meter.
It's only 1 meter, and they can't get another meter. And that's water and light.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of.
You think you're getting a deal.
Yeah.
But
you may be getting.
You may be getting.
I was today years old when I found out what that is.
I'm not saying that's in 100%.
Not all the cases, but often.
I would say a lot of the cases that, and especially if you look around, most of the places around you are just residential.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And with the what you call this Airbnb, a lot of people
Question about
seem
that right
to
now.
be,
Somebody about to ask.
Yeah, converting their homes to rent and stuff. Yeah.
All right, so this person's asking about that. I'm 27 and recently got approved for a house. Would it be smart to get a loan on this property and utilize those funds to construct an Airbnb on the property that I have? And they're in Exuma. That's what they're saying.
It all depends on how the lot is zoned. Because now if you build again on a residential lot, you have a house, and you section off, let's just say your garage for Airbnb. Yes, you may make some money. A lot of persons do it. So I'm not going to knock it. But again, you're stuck with 1 meter. So you have to cover that.
Right.
How does town planning see that? I can't speak to that. How do we see it? We will not finance a project that goes against the building code because we don't want to be seen as an institution encouraging, I don't want to say illegal activity, but something that's not approved by town planning.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an interesting text. Can I trade my property for a condo or home purchase?
I wish we could.
Trade like cards?
Can you barter? Yeah, can you barter?
What that person may be asking is you can use the equity to help come up with your down payment to purchase another property, but not outright trade.
Right.
Well, let me give you condo A for condo B.
Right.
Because then you have title and requirements. You have to change that over. Legal fees are involved. So without the equity, then you'd have to sell the condo to purchase the next piece.
Exactly.
But if you have equity, you could use that to assist with the next purchase.
Okay.
I am currently in my early 30s and nowhere near home ownership. There's constant pressure to be in a home by the time you hit 40, and high cost of living makes it extremely hard to save, but I try. My question is, how long is too long to wait to get a home?
And
I like that question.
I love that question too. Yeah.
Particularly the age because of the length of a mortgage.
Yeah,
right?
if I could jump in there, I would encourage that person to at least look into it now and do it now. I purchased a home late, and one of the things I regret is not having life insurance before. Now I don't know if this person has life insurance already, but the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be. And again, you're going to have to let Mr. Camp know what you could afford, afford for your mortgage. You don't want your life insurance being too high. So I encourage persons to at a younger age, especially at 30, to start looking into it, getting the information.
So let me add to that, right? And it's just that question is very interesting because just yesterday I had a conversation with a client and they wanted to buy. They waited till 60 to purchase a home, and I think what they were looking for was about $400,000 or $500,000. And we could only take you to age 65, maybe 70. If you're self-employed. So the payment at 60 is much higher because I can only give you a shorter term as opposed to someone that's 30. We can give you a 25-year term.
Right.
My advice would be start looking, purchase a vacant property, right? So let's do the math. If you wait till you're 30, I'm going to use the same example, to purchase a property, we give you that over 15 years. That takes this person age 45. So now if they let that run its full term, we only can give that person 20 years for a mortgage.
Right.
Now, she could come back at any time after year 5, year 6, year 2 to build on it.
Right.
But start the process.
Yeah.
And as you pay your monthly payment, you're building up equity into that property. And now when you're ready to build, that's less money you have to come up out of pocket because you have equity in that property. So my advice, purchase a piece of property. Look for it. And I'm not sure what the income is, but set up, and I'll invite her, come and talk to me. Or I can give my number to talk to me. Let's look at it. Let's plan it out. Because if you let each run its full term, 15 years for the vacant property, 25 years for the mortgage. That's what, 40 years?
Yeah.
That's almost your entire life.
I think it's also important for us to have conversations about modesty in building, because sometimes people come in and they want 5 bedrooms and all this sort of stuff, and just understanding the maintenance costs associated with all of that, and you know, so having the conversation that it's okay to have a 2-bedroom home. It's okay to, you know, because it's expensive, right? And then the second thing is interesting about what Phil said. When I was just in my 20s, my mom encouraged me to get life insurance. And I was like, why is she trying to think I die or whatever, right? But she actually said, when you get older and you want to get your house, you're going to need this life insurance and it's going to be more expensive. And so even my kids now have life insurance for future, right? So that's also something that you can start to do when you're early to start setting yourself up.
Definitely. That's, and persons underestimate the value of life insurance, right? But think about it. Let's say you take a mortgage over 25 years and we qualify you on both mortgages or both salaries. 10 years in, God forbid, something happens to one person and you don't have life insurance. Now the spouse that's left behind has to struggle with that payment. As a husband, I would hate that for my family. I would hate that. I want, if something happens to me, my house is paid off, my family is secure. You understand me? I would not want my wife and my kids to be left behind to pay this mortgage.
I'm curious about the example you gave earlier, the 60-year-old. I mean, how much of a down payment did they have to come up with?
It's the same down payment, just that their payment would be much higher. Because imagine trying to pay $400 5 years.
And there's no wiggle room around that. Like, I'm really healthy, I can go till 70.
If they're self-employed, then we would let them go to 70 because they're not stuck by the 65 age requirement. But if you look at certain sectors like BPL, their retirement age is 60, right? So you depend on what field you're in. You may not can't even go to 65.
Wow.
Yeah. So so we look at it by case. I mean, at Finco, we only do mortgages. Mortgages are specialty. We don't dabble in credit cards, car loans. We eat, sleep, drink, and breathe mortgages.
Only mortgages.
Only mortgages is what we do. So we specialize in mortgages. You know, I mean, we've been in the industry. Royal Bank has been about almost more than 115, 116 years. Royal Bank, Finco more than 70. So between the two, that's almost 200 years of banking experience in the Bahamas. So we're not going anywhere. We're here to please and work with our Bahamian people, and we feel everybody should own a piece of the rock.
Dwight, I would also encourage the young man or young lady who asked the question to start a savings program toward. Kemp and I were talking about it earlier as to how to prepare yourself for mortgage and home ownership. So that's the way to go. Start saving.
And I would deepen that too, because, you know, like a savings, a regular savings that you will go into and take out if this happened, that happened. Not emergency situations. You know, if you want to get something, it's easy to go and pull it out. I would say do it by automatic deduction. And, you know, I know the commercial banks are here. However, like, it's not so easy to get it from a bank that doesn't have an ATM or don't get an ATM card from your bank, or just make it very difficult for you to touch the money that you have earmarked. But when you have that automatic deduction, it comes out. You're not even factoring that in. So you don't have to say, I'm going to take this $50 and put it someplace every week, because something may come up and you will use that $50. But if you do it automatic before your salary hits your account and send it into an account that's not easily accessible, then you're going to be able to.
Maybe the way to do it also is to start work with a financial planner. And do a sort of a long-term planning system. As a young person.
Yes,
I think that's
absolutely.
What they should do, because real estate after all.
But I have one more question for
really quick,
for RBC or any bank that is. I know that we're sales driven. We want to meet targets. But there are people who may want to come in and have a discussion who can't qualify today. How open are sales agents or sales representatives from the banks having those discussions and helping them to be able to come back 5 years later to actually apply for a mortgage?
We're very open for that. I mean, we pride ourselves, again, in building relationships and providing for sound financial advice. So we encourage persons to come in and talk with us, have a conversation. Let us walk you through it, and just to show how committed we are, you know. Also, when I was out front talking, and I said, let me come in and talk to your sales reps. Let me help to show you how to communicate and pre-qualify the clients, which now makes their job easier. So we're open to meeting with the clients and talking to them, but we want to put a roadmap in place to help them with their savings plan and give them, because a lot of times persons come in okay, I have $10,000 saved, but you need 25,
Right.
and they walk away discouraged. And next thing you know, that 10,000 starts to dwindle down. They touching. So, so we want to put a roadmap in place. Again, that's not something.
And from my advice, what I've noticed, don't listen to other people, your friends, what they went through and what the down payment was there to come with, and with the electric, the utility bill they had to pay. It won't necessarily be yours. And that will discourage you if you keep listening to other people. Your experience is going to be unique.
Yeah, every experience is every experience is going to be unique.
Yeah.
Right? To come in and talk, and we pride ourselves in building a product specifically designed for every client.
Yeah.
I mean, what may work for these gentlemen may not work for
Exactly.
Of course.
because everybody's in a different stage in their
Very
life.
much so.
Correct.
You know, and when you think of 25 years, go back to 1998, 29, think how much of your life has changed from 98 to 99 to now. So you want to properly plan towards it and build that relationship with your banker where you can come down and sit down and talk with them.
Let's take this call really quickly as we're running out of time. Good morning, caller. Are you there?
Well, good morning, Dwight, and to everybody in studio.
Hi.
I'm glad we have some
morning.
experts in mortgages. I have one quick question. I like where you said have a separate account where you can put the money so nobody touches it. Now, a mortgage, and maybe the experts can help me with this. A mortgage, you make a monthly payment. Let's say your payment is $1,200 on your mortgage. That's 12 payments a year. Is it possible for you to put the same $1,200 in the bank every month, but do a standing order where the bank weekly removes $300? What I'm getting at is you would have made 52 payments on your mortgage a year instead of 12, lowering the principal that the financial institution can hold and lowering the duration of your mortgage. Is this possible? And can you help us understand why this would be beneficial? And does your lending facility allow for weekly standing order deductions?
Yes, we do. And that's a very good question, very good point. And there's a way to speed up the maturity of your mortgage. My only advice to that would be you have to be mindful of the cycle. Let's just say so we can allow weekly payments, bi-weekly payments, monthly payments. The issue that we find that persons running with, say, weekly payments, 2 months out of the year, there are 5 weeks.
So it requires great discipline.
Great discipline.
But if you have that, roughly, a 20-year mortgage would turn into what? 10 years? 7 years?
You would, if you do that, let me use the bi-weekly example. I go back to that.
Trying to help that guy who's 60, or 55.
Yeah, I understand that. I know where you're headed with it. So bi-weekly payments, 2 months out of the year, you have to pay 3 bi-weekly payments. And the only way it would speed up your payments is if you take your monthly payment, if you do the bi-weekly, if you take your monthly payment and divide it by 2. And then, so let's give you a primary example. I don't have my amortization schedule in front of me, but let's just say
you divide it by 4 because I would be very disciplined.
Yeah, but if you divide it by 4 times it by 12, that's only 48 weeks in a year. There's 52 weeks in a year. So doing it your way does not work. So
I would keep sufficient funds so that you could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's fine. So it takes great discipline. And what I find is if you're not paid weekly, I normally recommend persons who are paid weekly to pay weekly. Because think of it this way. You're getting paid every Thursday, every Friday. And let's just say your payment is $1,200 per month. You now, at the end of the month, have to now factor in, well, how do I make sure $1,200 is there when only $300 is coming every week? So I would suggest for persons who are paid weekly, you pay weekly, right?
Okay.
Persons who are paid weekly, like me, I'm paid bi-weekly.
Right.
My mortgage payment comes out every 2 weeks.
I paid mine weekly, and I know what I took a long-term mortgage and chopped it down to. I was just wanting to hear an expert say it, not me, But the thing is, you know what we just did, Dwight? We just taught money. See, a financial institution holds on to a big amount of money, a loan. And the quicker you can chop down the principal, well, the interest comes down. And in the beginning, more goes towards the interest than the principal. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
yes.
But I think there are some.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
If you've got the money, thanks a lot, Graham. A lot of people are struggling to make that.
It takes planning,
payment.
and that's why I'm saying there's a little caveat to it.
Right.
So if you're paid like for government persons, if they're paid monthly, it's going to be difficult to put them on weekly payments if they're not disciplined.
But when can you do that though? Because I think at the beginning of a mortgage, you from what I understand, you can't just I got this mortgage today and I can pay weekly next week. I don't know if that's possible, or do you have to pay 5 years before you can begin paying on your principal or anything
you
like that?
You can do it anytime, but I
Okay.
recommend you put it in up front.
Okay.
Get the discipline in place.
Okay.
But you could set, if you start off with monthly, next month you can do
weekly.
Now, the catch to that,
bi-weekly, right.
the catch to that is timing, right? So you don't want to wait till your next payment is due to put it on weekly payments because you've already had that month worth of interest already added up. So if you want to change it from monthly to weekly to bi-weekly, you have to do it right after that payment comes out. So when your next payment comes due, you've already made a month worth of payments.
Good, I like that.
You don't want to wait till the next payment comes due.
Right.
And you put it to weekly and then you pay 1 week payment and you still have a month worth of interest
Understood.
added up.
All right, gentlemen, I have a
Great
proposal. We're out of time, but our next guest is from the Bahamian Contractors Association, who will be taking part in the event on Saturday as well, right? So if you don't mind, would you mind sticking around for a few more minutes? We'll bring her in because people are asking for more
I could talk
information.
mortgages all day.
Everybody can stick around? Yep.
Sure.
All right, so we're gonna...
Dwight, before we do go, though, I just want to put a plug here for homeowners for Stone Oak. A contact number. We do have a contact number. If persons have any questions leading up to that day, even in terms of where do I find East Street South, whatever it may be, again, you can contact us at 815-8818. Again, that's 815-8818. And again, this is a free event, an all-day event from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. All the professionals would be there. As you see, you're going to have a lot of questions.
A lot to talk about.
To our reps here. So be prepared. Persons are coming prepared. We've been encouraging them to come with their questions. And as you see, questions could go on and on and on. But again,
and I'll allow you to remind everybody about it when we get back after the news, and we take this into business as well. Debbie Deal will be joining us from the Bahamian Contractors Association. A lot more to talk about. Stick around. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tell me why he made these islands.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
This Easter, from March 29th to April 3rd, witness history in the making at the Betty Kelling-Kenning Aquatic Center. Cheer on Team Bahamas as we dive into history, swimming our way towards a 6th straight victory at the Carifta Aquatics. Feel the thrill of competition as 500 athletes from 24 countries from across the Caribbean converge in the Bahamas for the championship title. Immerse yourself in the greatest youth athletic spectacle being held in the Bahamas this year. Watch live as champions are born, records are shattered, and dreams are realized. The Carifta Aquatics isn't just a competition. It's a showcase of the future of swimming right in the heart of Nassau. Mark your calendars. This Easter, March 29th to April 3rd, the Carifta Aquatics at the Betty Kelling-Kenning Aquatic Center. See ticket information and full schedule at cariftaaquatics.com. See you at the poolside.
We need to talk, and it's about something pretty important, your NIB contributions. For nearly 50 years, NIB contributions from hardworking Bahamians have supported families and individuals alike. But Bahamian families have changed. Families are having fewer children. This means less workers are entering the workforce and making contributions. And with Bahamian retirees living longer, pension payments have also increased. As a result, payouts have gone up, continuously exceeding contributions coming in, resulting in a deficit. That's why, starting on July 1st, 2024, both employers and employees will have to pay a little extra to sustain this national lifeline. The July 1st rate increase is our way of ensuring that NIB benefits are available for generations to come. We all have a role to play, and it starts with investing in tomorrow today with NIB.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, March 26th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean, and we have an interesting show going on. We continue our discussion from earlier. We're telling you about the event this weekend, the Homeowner and Builders Expo, and Stone Oak Bahamas putting that on this Saturday. And Dwayne Kemp with RBC sticking around for a few minutes as we continue our discussion about that. And he's joined now by our guest for Guardian Radio's Morning Blend Business this morning, Debbie Deal with the Bahamian Contractors Association. We have a lot to talk to her about, but a lot of these issues are very similar. Plus, the BCA is going to be taking part in the event this weekend. So welcome. Great to have you all with us. Thanks for sticking around. Dwayne. All right. So people were asking, because they still have a lot of questions. I think, did we lose that caller who had called in earlier? No, they're still here. Let's see if we can get that call if they're still there. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Yep. No, call us back then. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. All right, so Dwayne, you were talking a lot about this in the previous hour, talking about knowing how much money you have and not wasting money. But we know we've heard many horror stories about people and contractors, and Debbie, you can jump in here as well. But the contractors who have ruined everything through shoddy construction and bad choices. How often do you see cases like that as a banker?
We now with RBC Finco, we manage a project from start to finish, and we have a system in place where we do not pay until the stage is completed. Too often we've seen where we would give contractors money up front or purchase materials up front, and they would go and do something else. So we manage it, and we have a particular percentage we pay per stage per completion. And it's designed where the majority of the money is kept for the final two stages.
Okay.
So we try to keep ahead of the project because we find where we give too much money up front, the contractor loses interest, he gets all his profit up front, and the client is left holding the bag.
Right.
So we try to manage it very tight even though we do it that way, there's sometimes we run into an issue where we have projects overlaying. We allow 1 year for construction. We manage that. If it goes beyond the year, we renew the entire facility. We go back in. But we particularly are involved with each stage. We manage it, and we ask the inspectors to be on top of it. If we see a project that's going too long, we jump in and we go. Like now, I particularly have a project that I have to visit every Friday because it's just lagged. And at the end of the day, the client suffers. They're paying interest on this money that we advance. So just quickly, let's say if we give a $300,000 facility for construction, we build it in stages: foundation, bell course, roof, windows, doors, and completion. And then we also hold a 5% for retention for 3 months to make sure any little defects are corrected. And after each stage, we get it inspected. But the client pays for every time we advance money. They don't pay on the $300,000 up front. So let's just say the foundation is 10%. When that foundation is completed, we get it inspected, and we pay 10% out. So we pay $30,000 to the contractor. So he would have put his monies in, we pay for the works completed. So the client pays on the $30,000. So let's say the next stage is the bell cost, which is 15%. That's what, $45,000? My math is pretty good. So at that point, at the end of the bell cost, that's $75,000 we paid out. So they're paying interest on that. But the longer that project goes, and the more money we pay out, the more interest they pay. So if this job starts to lag, that client is now paying interest. And if they're paying rent, as the project goes on. So you can imagine as you go get to the roof stage, windows and doors stage. So can you imagine paying us, let's say, $1,500 a month in interest?
Yeah,
and
it's
you
like a double mortgage.
you still got to pay your interest. So it's our intent to get this construction project finished as quickly as possible and make it easier on our clients' pockets.
So when I first started building, I actually had to build a house in 12 weeks.
Wow.
That's what we were building, homes in 12 weeks.
That's Lego, eh?
No.
Wow.
12 weeks?
But doesn't it take like the foundation 12 weeks to set?
No.
Wow.
No. No.
Wow.
Wow.
No.
But what are the consequences in a situation like that for a contractor who either lags or, from the contractors association perspective and from the banking perspective, like what are the consequences to avoid these types of situations?
Because you said it, you had a case where somebody took the money, the contractor took the money, and did any other thing with it.
Yeah. So what we do, we encourage persons up front when you enter a construction agreement, have penalties built in. If this project goes beyond a certain time, I mean, there's nothing you can do with weather, stuff along those lines, normal things. But
do you do a bonus if it's done in advance? If you do a penalty, do you do a bonus the other way?
No, you can't do it. I mean, it's a
you
client.
should.
Like you mean an incentive, but the client has to put that in place. But I know with us, if it goes beyond a certain point, we implement a penalty to the contractor. I mean, we have contractors that we don't do business with because we've had negative experiences with them.
One other thing you mentioned, you said you do the inspection. From what I understood.
Not me, but I'm saying I visit to make sure.
No, you were saying that at each stage an inspection is done. You said we do an inspection.
Yeah.
Okay. But I thought it was the client hired their own inspector on their behalf, and that inspection went to the bank, and then the bank would release the funds if the inspection passed.
Yeah. So when I say we, I mean, we ensure that the client gets it done.
Okay. Right.
So the foundation, the bell course, and the roof has to be inspected by two inspectors, a bank improve inspector
And the government.
Okay.
So you can't bring me one inspection without the next. So we need the government inspection for foundation, bell course, and roof to make sure you're building with the particular materials, because you'll have a contractor put on the roof without hurricane clips. So you need to have all those things inspected. You have to make sure the foundation is built with a certain grade of concrete, a certain steel.
Yeah. What about from your perspective, from the association? Are there consequences for contractors who,
Well, there would be if the Bahamian Contractors Act would be passed. I mean, it's passed. Sorry, it is passed. It was passed in 2016, so it is law.
Right.
But it needs to be enacted. As in, the board has to be chosen. We've sent in our representatives. We're waiting for the government to actually now finish choosing the board and set up the business of construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
All right, so we're going to talk more about that in just a bit. While we have in here, though, you mentioned it the last time you were here on the show, challenges contractors sometimes have with banks because of the clients.
Well, I told you I will never, ever do another job where if the client is being financed by a bank.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why, because I was doing a job for a client who was financed by RBC. And at the end of the last stage of the job, the appraiser went in, did the appraisal, approved the release of the funds, and the client refused to sign off on the document. So the bank gave the client the money. So not only was I out $51,000, which was what I needed to pay my suppliers and my crew, I actually had to pay them out. That person, not only did she have her financing, she got the $51,000 that I should have gotten.
Yeah, that should not have happened.
So, well, it did happen, and it's happened to a number of people, and I will never, ever, ever do a job where somebody's getting financed.
What are banks doing to prevent
Right.
that from happening?
Now, let's put a disclaimer here. We do not have a contract with the contractor. The contractor and the client have the agreement.
Hang on, I explained all of that the last time. When I first started building, it was First Home, and it was, it was basically First Home and then Finco eventually. And what happened is each of them would have the contractor, the client, and the bank. Everyone had a vested interest in making sure that that project actually came to fruition, right? In 2009, RBC lost $9 million. It was in their profit, their what do you call it? Every year they have to do a statement. It was sitting in the coffee tables in the RBC, so this isn't something that I pulled out of a hat. This is documented. And it was from people walking away from mortgages. So what they decided, 2009.
Let me put a pin in here now. I mean, we're talking history. I can't speak to what she's speaking to.
Right.
I've been in this role more than 6 years. I can't speak of one instance where we've had this story happen.
Okay.
So I can't speak to what may have happened 10, 15 years ago. I can't.
But I'm just saying
again,
that's basically what happened. So then what RBC decided to do is they decided that they were going to do the client and them for a contract, and then the client would have a contract with the contractor. So what happened was the two were not joined. And that's what causes the problem.
Yeah.
That's what causes the problem.
So what she's talking about, again, that I've not seen that, and I see all mortgages for Nassau, Family Islands, and Turks and Caicos.
Okay.
I've been in this role for about 6 years. I can't speak of one instance where that has happened.
I've been building for 41
All
years.
right, let me just get through these messages, and we got to take a break. This person says you started to explain from that if you divide your monthly mortgage payment in two, but can you give us the cliff notes on that again, really quickly, how that could work?
Okay, so there's a caveat to that, right? If you divide let's just say your monthly payment is, easy number is $1,200. You divide it by 2, which is $600 per month. And you take that and pay that biweekly, that would pay it off faster. But keep in mind, 2 months out of the year, which would more than likely be, if you started doing it in January, which would more than likely be July and December, you have to pay 3 biweekly payments of $600. Because if you're doing it the other way, it's only 48 weeks in the year.
Right.
You're calculating on 48. So if you're doing...
It should be 52.
It should be 52.
Okay.
So be mindful you have... Because every other week, it's different from bi-weekly. So the 15th and the 30th is different from every other Thursday or every other Friday. Because again, 2 months out of the year, you're going to have to make 3 payments.
Okay.
Right? Also, if you were to... And to show you what I'm saying is, take that same $1,200 and take times it by 12 and divide it by 52. You're going to get less than $600.
Right.
Yeah. Or if you divide it by, you understand me? So if you times it by 2, so it depends on how you amortize it, the payment comes out to less. So to make it make sense, take your monthly payment, divide it by 2, or if you want to pay it weekly, divide it by 4, and then you do it all the way out.
Okay.
And then it works out less that way.
Okay.
But you end up paying more. But I only advise persons, if you're paid weekly, to do it that way. Because again, can you imagine a government worker who's paid once a month trying to set out weekly payments? Because then 2 months out of the year, they're going to have to pay 5 weekly payments.
Right.
So all of my clients, if they're paid bi-weekly, I let them put their payments on bi-weekly. If they're paid weekly, like let's use the hotel, they're easy. I mean, Atlantis, they're paid every Thursday. I suggested they pay every Thursday or even every Wednesday.
Right.
So by the time as your salary hits, my payment comes out Wednesday night. When you go to the ATM Thursday morning, my payment is already taken out, so you don't have to think about
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes it seem more affordable.
Yeah.
Because it's a smaller amount, but
most definitely.
All right, let's take this call, and then we'll take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight, and good morning to you again.
Hi.
Okay, I took out said mortgage 20 years ago, and 2 years ago I burned my mortgage. Now, I want to resell. The property now belongs to me. I don't know if it's law, but now I'm selling my property for $100. Is it mandatory that I now pay half of the VAT to the buyer? Is that law? Because a lot of people telling me I would have to pay half of the 10% VAT if I'm selling my property. Yes. Can somebody answer that for me, please?
Yeah, normally in a gross sale, you would split the fees. That's a part of the stamp tax that you would pay in a sale. Now, if you sell it in a net sale, the purchaser would pay that. But then if we're providing financing, when you add the fees to what you're selling it for, it cannot come up to more than the property is appraised for. So I know I said a lot. I said a lot in that. So a gross sale, think of your salary, right? A gross sale is your salary before any expenses come out, such as your real estate fees, your stamp tax, your VAT, all of that. And then you'll get the net. So easy numbers, let's say $100,000, times you take out all the fees, you're probably going to get $94,000 in your pocket. Because you have to pay the lawyer 2.5% on that, maybe 3% VAT. What he's talking about, it because VAT is charged, it's the old conveyance fee. It's charged at a staggered rate. So that would come out. So what he would get in pocket is after all of your salary, your national insurance, your health insurance, all that come out and would actually hit your account.
Right.
So that's what he's talking about, selling it as a gross.
Okay.
If he sells it at a net, all that's saying is, I want $95,000 at the end of the day.
Right.
So all those fees have to be added on top
of that. Right.
But when you add those on top, it cannot come up to more than the property's appraised at value at $100,000.
Right.
It can, but we're only going to finance the $100,000. If those fees add up to $102,000, we're going to finance $100,000. The client got to put the other $2,000 in. But it works doing it that way. It works out more expensive for the client.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have to now pay both sides of the fees.
Right.
It becomes more expensive.
Okay.
So what I normally suggest persons do is, if you have a certain figure in mind that you want to pocket, sell it gross and work it back out. It still comes back to what you initially want.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, can I add one more thing to that? The net sale works for those more multi-million-dollar properties when the different fees and stuff kick in, and it works better for the purchaser at the end of the day for tax exemptions and all of that.
Okay.
I don't really recommend net sales for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700,000. Yeah. When you start getting the multi-million, then I wouldn't say small amount.
I know, right?
Like that. And she looking at me saying that's so nice.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
All right. So our final minute, your final tip to somebody who's thinking about buying a new home or buying an existing one and renovating, what advice should you give them to stay sane throughout this whole process that can often be quite trying?
I would say definitely be true to the numbers. The numbers are very important and they're telling. Too often, times you have persons come in and say, I could build this house for $150,000, but you need $300,000 to build it and you're stuck. I would say be true to the numbers. Be true to your finances. Come in and know what you comfortably can pay month over month. And I hope this don't come across wrong, but let me say it. Someone that has 2 kids, their finances is different from someone that has 4 kids.
Yeah.
You're talking about schooling, food, electricity, clothing. Just to take the family out, it costs you more than some. And I'm so please don't take me wrong. I'm just saying, understand what your monthly finances are, what your obligations are, because yes, we can qualify you for a particular amount, but you still have other stuff that we do not factor in your overall finances. You understand me? So that's very important. I might take my wife out to dinner once a month, twice a month. That the bank doesn't factor that in.
Right.
Now she has to understand, baby, we get this mortgage. I can't take you out
every week. Right.
Yeah, I can't pay for your
We're
nails.
going to the beach. We're taking some wine.
Right. So she has to understand finances come into play. I mean, my wife, she like, I'm sorry if I'm picking on her today. I hope she's not listening. Right? She likes bags. Right? Baby, I can't buy you a bag every time I travel anymore. We can't go as much as we used to. So
sacrifice
some sacrifice sacrifice right now, and you have to understand your budget. And owning a home comes with expenses that you don't have to pay while you're renting. You don't have to pay landscaping. Something goes wrong, you don't have to call the plumber or the electrician. The landlord does that. There's certain things that now kicks. And for some odd reason, my light bill seems higher now than my own house than when I was living in an apartment.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So these things you have to factor in.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, as a contractor, I would think that the client who's come to you should really do their due diligence with the person that they have decided that they want to build for them.
Right.
Not just take one person's opinion that they did a great job. Delve a little bit further into that, because this person now might be a great contractor, but you don't know what has happened in the past, and you don't know what will happen in the future. So really do due diligence with that. That's so important.
And that's very important. The point that she raised, right? We had a contractor, and no matter what due diligence you do, there's something that always goes wrong. I'll give you a live example that's now. We had a client that he's dealing with a well-reputable contractor. I mean, this project has gone sideways to the point where I'm shocked. I said to him, what happened? You've done numerous projects. I've known you to be in the market for a while. And we had to literally take him off this project because he had too many other projects going, couldn't balance all of them. Lost sight of this and had persons doing the work and did charity work. So we had to really take him off and hire another contractor to complete the job. We didn't hire, but the lady had to find another contractor. But in cases like that, you have to make sure what's left in the project is able to complete. And 9 times out of 10, when you switch contractors, that cost goes up.
But then again, that due diligence, if you knew that contractor was doing 10 jobs,
Right, if you knew.
and really should only be doing 5. I mean, a lot of times contractors will say, oh, this is great, I got to take everything because you never know when we're going to not have any jobs. But you still have to be able to financially do that as a contractor. And you have to have your crew able to actually get that work done in the proper time frame.
And when you
So
think
that's a
about
good
it,
question to ask. How many contracts are you currently working on?
Thank you.
As a part of your due diligence?
and it's hard for us as a bank to keep on top of it. We know it's starting, but this project is 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Who's 2 months down the line, he's not taking on another project and another
Right.
project.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah. So this is where communication comes into
Yes.
play. And I tell all of my clients who are constructing, visit your project every day.
Okay. Dwayne Kemp, a lot to think about. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And of course, I want to remind everybody that the event is Saturday, the Homeowner and Builders Expo at BPSU Hall, East Street South. Again, where is that exactly? Debbie, you said you know. Where it is.
Debbie knows.
It's south of Soldier Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Can I put on a shameless plug before I go?
Sure.
Yeah, one shameless plug. With RBC Finco, we currently have a mortgage campaign that's ongoing till May 31st. We're waiving all the commitment fees. We're giving $1,000 towards your insurance and your homeowners. And for persons that are not satisfied with their current institution, we're giving 2% cash back up to $10,000 to cover all your legal fees and stuff.
Switch.
Switch.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll continue with Debbie when we get back from the break. This is Morning Glen Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity. we're good for you.
You've heard of electric cars. Now it's time you drive one. Easy Car Sales welcomes you to experience the power and prestige of the latest electric vehicles. Plug in at home for a 65% discount off your gas bill and never get stuck at the pump again. Build your dreams of a better future with a better car, the BYD EV. Visit easy242.com to book your free test drive today. Save your money while driving in style, only at Easy Car Sales.
Are you ready for the best of the best? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group up for sound promotion, and Guardian Radio presents the best of the best Rake and Script Explosion Concert. Mark your calendars for May 11th as Super Club Breezes grounds ignite with Bahamian talent featuring KB, Gino D, Funky D, Veronica Bishop, The Brylanders, Avi, Elon Moxie, and Shine 242.
Right now I feel like whining.
Join the Falcons, Novi Pierre, Johnny Cake, Mama D, Nishi LS, Pat Rami, Stevie S, and Shad Colley and the VIPs for an electrifying night of music and culture. Tickets are flying, so grab yours now. Available online at BahamaZTickets.com or swing by the Beauty Shack on Soldier Road and Carmichael Road. This is the event of the year. The best of the best Rake and Scrape Explosion at Breezes Resorts. Gates open at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on the Bahamian Magic.
And we are back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Duquesa Dean. And we continue our discussion now with Debbie Deal with the Bahamian Contractors Association. All right, so you mentioned the act. This has been 2016, right? When it was
Yes.
when it was passed.
When it was gazetted, yes.
And so it's not fully enacted yet.
No, again, an act is a law, right?
Mhm.
It's already a law, but it needs to have meat,
Yeah,
right?
the teeth is missing.
Yes, it
Are
needs.
missing.
It's like, I'll give an example. Okay, basically our code is based on Dade County,
Mhm.
right? You always hear Dade County approved, right? Okay. So the reason that they can say Dade County is because that is an actual entity that has teeth, right? That has substance. We could actually do licenses now. We could just hand out licenses. You know, we could print just like you would print a counterfeit $20 bill. And we could spend that counterfeit $20 bill till we get caught, right? That's the whole purpose in having licensing, the whole purpose in this act being done and the board being chosen. You know, the contractors have given their persons that they would like to be a part of the board. The government has to choose their persons to be a part of the board. And then once that is done, then an office is actually set up. Just like with every other, any other act that has gone into play, an office is set up where you have staff, where we do training, where everything can actually be done. Every complaint that you hear about with construction would be alleviated with the act being in play. Even shantytowns. The government has the right to actually knock on every single person's door and say, we are doing a survey. We would like to see you. We'd like to see your building permit and or if a house is already done, your occupancy certificate. We would like to see that. We need to investigate to make sure that these are actually being done. The act would eliminate all of the problems with shantytowns being built, with illegal building, with, like you guys were talking earlier about somebody building a house and then deciding to chop it up into a rental. Well, you know, it's a residential property, and now you're turning it into a multi-family residence, right? And then you want to also include utilities. Well, it's illegal to sell utilities. You cannot sell BBL. You cannot sell water and sewage. Those are not yours to sell, right? So all of these problems could be eliminated if this board was chosen and the actual entity was put into place. We could actually start, we'd have a 2-year time frame, which is what the act says, And by the way, I sent you the copy of the act.
Yes.
Anyone who wants it, for God's sakes, let us know. We will send it to everybody. Read it. It's a good document, and it's a simple document, right? Insurance, all of these things, everything is included in this act to make sure that everything is done correctly, that you as a customer are protected, and the contractor is protected.
It's crazy. 10 years almost.
Yeah.
This hasn't been
It's
fully
insane.
enacted.
Yeah. It's insane. And he
Right. What's the reason? We know generally around here when you see something like this, it's because somebody's benefiting from it not being the way it should
Well,
be.
again, this is Debbie Deal, not the Bahamian Contractors Association.
Mhm.
Debbie Deal believes that any large development that comes into the country is financed from away, right? So they're getting financing. I'm going to use just examples of World Bank, IDB, 5Cs, Jeff. There's many different financing organizations that will finance large development. So when they come in here and they go in and they have their meetings, the first thing they're going to ask for is they would like to meet with the contractors because they want to hire licensed contractors to be a part of the project. And we have to say, or the government has to say to them, there are no licensed contractors in the Bahamas. There's not a single one. And then they say, well, we can't, our funding is insistent on having licensed contractors. Well, that means then now the government can say to them, well, we'll allow you then to get permits and bring in your own people to do it to make sure that the project actually happens. That eliminates us, unfortunately, totally.
Right.
Because we can't do anything because we're not licensed, although we have done all the infrastructure in Nassau. We have built all the roads. We have built the hotels and the hospitals and the schools. We've done everything, but we're not licensed to do it, right? It's totally insane. I don't know why there's a pushback from government or why they're setting it back, because it does not make any sense at all to not want to eliminate all of these horror stories that we hear about bad construction, right? I mean, you could drive by, oh my gosh, you could drive by so many different places. Blair, you come in off of Village Road and you get to the corner and there's that house there that everything about that house is built wrong. And somebody has had to pay for that. And somebody has accepted that.
Right.
Somebody may not even know that that's not correct.
Right.
But in this day and age, I don't accept that you don't know, because everybody has their best friend Google and YouTube, right? And everybody has watched home shows. We've all watched Bob Vila, and we've watched all kinds of home shows telling you exactly how to do something and what is correct and what isn't correct. Because I'll tell you what, if you, Dwight, were going to a wedding and you were going to get a new suit made to go to that wedding, you would make sure that that suit was done perfectly. You would make sure that all the buttons line up. You would make sure that the stitching is right, that the collar would be the same on both sides, that the pants would fit properly, that the sleeves. You would make sure that's perfect, right? You're not a tailor, but you know what is right. If you were going to a wedding, same with you, Decussie, you would make sure that that dress was perfect. Why are we accepting shoddy workmanship? Why are we accepting doors that don't close properly and steps that aren't even, like the cricket club? You could kill yourself going up those steps, right?
And like we said earlier, the most expensive investment most people will ever make.
And to redo it is ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive.
Here's this text. This text here. And I wish they are listening so they can respond. Dwight, the government is correct in not enforcing the act as it is presently written. That's all they've said. Not said anything else. Texters, send us more information. Why do you feel that way? Have you ever heard anybody say that before? Is it something in the act that is pushing the wrong buttons?
Well, I'm sure anything in life could push somebody's wrong button, but I'll tell you what, that thing between the government, the Contractors Association, and the other entities, that document, I think it's an 80-page document or whatever, it took years to actually do that. And it was the government's lawyers were there, everybody's lawyers were there actually going through and making sure that it was done correctly.
Yeah, and it had to go through the House. It was debated in the House.
It had to, and then also what happened now is there was a 2-year time frame where contractors were to be licensed after the act went into play, but that time, because of COVID and 1,000 other reasons, never happened, so now it has to do that again. I bet you could go through any act in the entire country and there'd be one thing that somebody wouldn't like.
Yeah.
But the general gist of what it is absolutely what we need to make sure that contractors can actually know that they will actually get paid, and that client will actually know that they are hiring a contractor that knows what they're doing, because they will have a 2-year period to get educated and be able to write an exam and be able to prove that they actually know construction, right? And if they don't, then they would not be able to get their license. And also, same thing, if they've done work for you and the work is, not good, it's not right, it's substandard, then they could lose their license for it.
Could that be it? Concerns about
Yeah.
literacy levels
Well,
and people
well, you
not
know
being
what?
able to
Yes,
write an exam?
It doesn't. Yeah, but
And the
it doesn't.
accountability factor.
But you know what? Yes, we are grandfathering in people that cannot read. I have a lot of guys on my job sites that cannot read, and that's just the way it is. But the thing is, you don't have to actually physically read or write something. An exam could be where I ask you a question, and you answer the question, right? It does not have to be. We're not going back to grade 12 here, and we're not doing GSE. So there's a way to actually do it. We're not just going to just throw everybody under the bus. That is not the intention. The intention is to make sure that the person who's in Ragged Island or Acklands, who has been a contractor for 45, 50 years, and has built probably every building there and did it where the foundations actually sat for a year, and that person can actually have a license. So when foreigners decide to come in and want to build there, or if, let's say they decide they want to do, like Mayaguana, they're talking about doing a dock there, so another for cruise ships, so that you have a port before you go out down to the South America and that kind of thing. We want everybody to have an equal chance and an equal opportunity to be in the construction industry. We could not have made the Family Islands, would never have been done if it weren't for those persons that are there doing construction.
Yeah. Can we take this call really quickly? Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Mr. Steele.
Morning.
Yeah. Talking about shoddy work. Just looking in the papers last night, the lady claimed that had a tornado in the Tribune, roof was falling off, right? A part of a roof, right? But as a builder, right, I look at the photograph, and the first thing that struck my eye was that I look at the rafters, and there was only one nail I can see that was on, and that plywood is like on the corner of my hip, the sheet, and it's cut like on an angle, and it's like there's only one nail, but I look over the rafter because it's a close up to the head, right? And if you don't put sufficient nails on the roof, I'm talking about the ply itself, you can have it basically strapped down and everything, but the roof would still fail. And that's what I saw in the paper.
Right, and you know what?
Okay. Thank you.
After Dorian, I went to Abaco, and I took photographs of all of the houses that were there, and you were able to see the reason why most of those buildings failed. And a lot of them failed because it was not done right. One building had a concrete slab, and it had the bolts coming up, but the bolts weren't every 3 feet. They were random. On the bolts, there was no nut and washer, which means there was never a nut and washer. The building itself was gone and moved 200 feet over. So there's, but if we're trained, if we know what we're doing, if there's penalties for not using the correct products to do the job, then we will eliminate this. We may not eliminate all, because there's always going to be somebody who's going to try to, get away with stuff, right? But we need to actually improve the industry in this country. The economy is so good, and so many people have opportunities to have either a lease to buy or even just to buy a condo or something like that. But why can't we offer them good, solid, correct building? Why can't we do that? My daughter has a closet company, and she goes into a lot of buildings and stuff to do installations, and she's always saying, "Mommy, I can't stand it. I go into these places and the walls are so crooked, and we have to try to adjust everything to do it." And a lot of these are high-end buildings. So you really have to, we want to make sure that every single person has the right opportunity, whether you're a customer or a contractor.
Let's see if we can get this call in really quickly before we have to wrap up. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I didn't get your name.
Deal.
Debbie Deal with the Bahamian Contractors Association.
That's Miss Deal?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she don't play. Yes, I've been listening. Miss Deal, it sounds a little bit confusing to me. These builders and stuff like that, the contractors, they have papers and stuff, and I know they went to school to their degree or whatever. Some of them, when you say they don't have no license, I wonder, like, if you're really saying they don't have no license in spite of them is be coming up with papers and stuff. The board, would you talk about, to put teeth in this, right? What department is in charge of this? Which official or which ministry or
Ministry of
minister?
Works.
So we can agitate on behalf of the association to get it the right way,
please.
especially when them investors them come in and they have to bring in their contractors because they saying, y'all, that sound crazy, someone benefit. Who the person is we must agitate to? The Prime Minister, who? The Minister of Works?
Minister of
What
Works.
department? I'll hang up and listen, thanks.
All of the above, right?
Yeah.
But when they
Minister of
bring in
Works.
their own, that's work permits and fees, right?
Right.
Other
Exactly.
revenue.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a lot of money coming
Yes,
in.
but you know what? We as contractors could also apply to bring in persons, couldn't we? We can also bring in talent, can't we? So we can also be part of that permit section for the government. Give us the opportunity.
Yeah.
Give us the opportunity. We need to have and we do need the general public to actually agitate. Agitate with your member of parliament. That's their job. They're supposed to take care of you in that constituency. Make sure that we can get this passed so that this country could actually flourish.
Really quickly, I know we had talked about this briefly on the immigration issue with a lot of people saying they have so much work and so few Bahamians willing to work that they have to hire whomever comes, whether they're legally here or not. Have things improved in the sector? Are we seeing people really being more accountable and checking to see if their workers are legally allowed to work in the country?
Unfortunately, human beings will get away with whatever they can get away with. That's all I can say. I mean, think about the problem was created by Bahamians renting to persons that don't have permits to be here, hiring persons that don't have permits to be here. And we have created the monster, right? A person applying for a permit must be in another country when they apply for the permit, and somebody must be applying for that permit for them. They just can't go and say, oh, I want to go to the Bahamas, I'm going to apply for a permit. It doesn't work that way. But because everybody has just decided, oh, to heck with it, nobody's going to check.
That's true.
This is, again, one of those things that could be corrected with the Bahamian Contractors Act. The whole purpose in having this is to make sure that everything is done correctly. And we really need, I can't explain it any better. I mean, you've got electricians are licensed. I have to hire a licensed electrician, single or three-phase, to do the electrical work on a project. But I'm not licensed. And yes, you know what? People may have a license, but it's not a license from anybody that has any kind of regulation that can say that you can now get financing, from IDB, or IDB will now hire you to do a project. We don't have that.
All right, so tomorrow people can hear more about this.
Yes, we're having our luncheon tomorrow, and Bacchus Roll, who is the secretary for the Ministry of Works, is going to be there speaking, and he's going to be talking about, I forget what it is, something about improvements in the future type of thing. But yes, come to the luncheon, even if you just want to sit there and listen to the conversation, even if you want to ask questions about how can we get this act passed, right? How can we actually improve the industry in this country? We have to do that.
And you don't have to be a contractor to come to the luncheon.
No, never. I mean, the contractors, even though we put it on, we want anybody who's interested in construction to actually come and participate and meet who is a part of the association, because that's how you actually get good work, because you know who you're dealing with and you know that they're professionals.
Where, when, what time?
It's tomorrow. Sandyport Poop Deck West starts at 12. It's only for an hour. It's not going to kill you. And we'd really love to have you come.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Thank you.
Debbie Deal, always a pleasure.
Thank
Great
you.
talking with you.
Yes, thanks so much.
And we're going to talk with you again soon, I'm sure.
Yes.
And thank you to Quesadine.
See you
Thank you for
after
being
my
here.
well-rested weekend.
Yes, I'll see you on Tuesday, locked up in your house all weekend. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Guardian Radio Business brought to you in part by CFAL. Morning Blend Business brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Everybody stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Wake up, it's a new